What's up, YouTube? I've been wanting to build a 5-inch Luminaire race blade, but as I'm sure many of you know, they're out of stock like everywhere because I'm a dumbass and I waited too long. Oh well. Instead, I decided while I wait for the second batch to get completed and be available for sale, I thought I'd try something on the cheaper side. I've done a bunch of, I guess, more expensive frames. Last couple of quads, I did a 6-inch Alien. This boxer frame, well, I don't know if I'd call it expensive, but it was not a cheap one either. I think it was like $80 or something like that. I built a Shendrone's Krieger 225. That was like $80 or something like that. Close to 100, whatever. And so now, while I'm waiting for the race blades to be in stock again, like I said, I thought I'd try something on the cheaper side. So I found on BuddyRC.com this frame, and I already opened it earlier, so this isn't exactly like an unboxing or anything. But let's see, is that everything? Yeah, that's everything. So I have here, this is a Kensun KK210, all right? I kind of like it. I've always been a big fan of the Shendrone's Tweaker 180 frame. I like that a lot. I built, gosh, 6 or 7 of those. Some for myself, some for friends, and some for people that paid me to build them. But I found this, and it's basically like a scaled up tweaker, except it has more of the X orientation with the arms. So if it were like a tweaker, it would have some straight on the back like that. They're like this. But the top plate is, just like tweaker, even has the same XT60 and SMA cutouts in the back, and this cutout for the FPV cam in the front, whatever. This frame was $30. $30 fucking dollars. It's a 3mm bottom plate. There's some flex in it. It's 3mm plate. I don't know if you guys saw my older video about the Bantam where I talked about the Sharpu QAV210. That had a 3mm main plate also, but I think it had some more cutouts in places that made it flex more because they both flex, but this still feels more rigid than that QAV210. I'm planning to move the remaining functional guts from the Boxer 210 over to this Kensun KK210. That includes some Little B 20 amp ESCs and Cobra 2206 2100 motors. I also have here the Banggood Special SP Racing F3 clone. I have on here, I have the Multi-Rotor Mania PDB, the one with the 2 regulators. If that's still in good shape, I may reuse that. I'm not sure yet. I also have a Oso Mini PDB, the one that has the spots for the Pololu regulators at 12 volt and 5 volt step down. So I may use that too. I'm not sure. That's what I'm about to build. Kind of excited. It's a super simple frame, but I really like the design. $30, you can't beat that. I mean, hell, I could buy 3 of these for the cost of any one of like most of these other frames that I have sitting around. So hell, even if I break it once or twice, like it's still not cost me any more than those. So let's go ahead and take a look at this frame. Like I said, it's a pretty close to X frame, but it's definitely an H. You can see it's a little wider than it is tall. But if you look at it, pretty much almost all of the holes are symmetrical, except you can see there's 3 here on each corner around where the flight controller goes. But here on this side, these 2 are even, but up here it's more of like, it's not a right triangle between the 3. I don't know. But so it's not reversible. I'm not sure yet which end is the front. Let's see. We line up the holes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure which end is the front yet. Maybe that'll become more apparent as I'm building it. I don't know. We'll see. But so, yeah, it comes with this 3mm main plate, like a 2mm top plate. It has 2 sections for straps, and then, of course, the XT60 hole and some SMA holes. You can tell here, and on the main plate, it has slots for camera plate, which I probably won't be using. I tend to use the HS1177 cased cameras with the bracket, or I end up 3D printing my own bracket of mount or of some sort. So it came with those 3 plates, some standoffs. These look like they're 30mm, I think, black aluminum standoffs. A few screws here, M3s, button heads, the usual. Then it also comes with some nylon standoffs, short ones. They look like they're 8mm standoffs or something. I'm guessing those are for the camera plate. It also comes with some props, set of props. They look like 5045s or something. Yeah, that's right, the 5045s. No brand information on here or anything, so I don't know. These will probably just go in the garbage. Yeah, that's everything that comes with it. Like I said, it's $30, so you can't expect to get a whole lot. As far as building, first thing we'll probably do is file the edges. They're definitely sharp from the machining, so I'll file those down with my trusty Impulse RC file. These have been great, man. Shit, like buying the alien frame was worth alone just for these, which is dumb because they're like $5 or something. But I've used them a ton on all kinds of builds ever since I got that frame. So yeah, I'll be filing all the edges to get them nice and smooth. There's little holes for legs, which I won't use. I'll probably print some feet to go on the ends of the arms under the motors. It's made for 22mm motors. Actually, it looks like it's got slots. It will probably fit 18mm motors. Also, we'll definitely be using 22mm. Once that's all finished, then we'll take it for a spin and see how she does. So I better get to it. So I got the PDB all soldered up with the voltage regulators and the battery lead and got that mounted on the frame. So you can see that there. And then I remembered that a couple of weeks ago I got from UBAD this red rotor PDB slash OSD. It's just been sitting here in my workbench for a while. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do with it, but I knew I wanted to use it eventually. So it's just been sitting there and I kind of forgot about it. So I'm thinking I may take this Oh So Mini PDB off here and mount this red rotor PDB OSD up instead. I think that should work nice. Let's do that. Okay, so I got the red rotor PDB partially soldered up. I got some leads for the ESCs put on and the battery lead. And so what I'm doing now is taking the old motor ESC harness from the old frame and taking off the heat shrink and removing the positive and ground leads from it, and then soldering up these, which you can see I've already done this one. Ran the leads from the PDB under it around the standoff and then over here to the ESC, and then covered it with clear heat shrink. So now I just need to do the other three. Alright, so I got the red rotor PDB slash OSD all soldered up, as you can see here. All the ESC leads are wired into it, battery leads on there. It's bolted to the frame. I also took my XR4 and took it out of the cardboard and removed all but the 3 pins that I need for S-Bus and wrapped it in some clear heat shrink. So there's that. I also removed the little Molex connector, whatever, I don't know, but whatever it's called, and soldered the telemetry wire directly to the little pin there. So that way it's a little lower profile, will take up a little less space because that's going to slide right under the PDB here. Let's see, I want the LEDs down so that I can hopefully see them through the hole there on the bottom of the frame. It goes right in. Easy peasy. And then I have my SP Racing F3 clone. That's going to go on like this. I'll have it turned 90 degrees so that the USB port will be accessible. 2-wire servo cable here that I'm going to drape kind of across the PDB like so. This is going to ultimately power the flight controller. On the camera output side of this PDB, there's two rows of header pins, right? And the top row will put out 12 volts, and the bottom row will put out 5 volts. Now on the bottom of the PDB, there are 3 pads, right? And you can bridge 2 of them for 5 volts to the camera and the other 2 for 12 volts to the camera. And it has the 12 volt pads bridged, but it appears to be putting out 5 and 12 on these two sets of pins, so I'm not sure exactly what the deal is there, but whatever. That works out well because we'll send 12 volts to the camera and 5 volts to the flight controller. So this little servo cable can go right there on the bottom set of pins, like so, and go into there, and then it'll loop back over and plug in here to the motor pins to power our flight controller. So that's where we're at right now. I need to obviously plug up all the ESCs. I need to solder the flight controller. Comes with a bunch of little leads. It's got a couple of these 2-wire leads, and then a pair of these 8-wire, whatever the hell those things are called. I forget. But so one of these will be bebop monitoring, so it's going to need to get soldered to the PDB, and the other one is a buzzer. I like to have a buzzer, so I need to solder a buzzer to the wire and mount that somewhere, get that all plugged up. And then I need to, one of these is used for S-Bus, and you can tell which wires it is because on this harness there's a bunch of single wire servos, but then one of them has 3 wires. So that's your receiver pins on those wires. So I just need to hook that up. Then I'll either work on the FPV gear or go ahead and flash clean fly on here and start screwing with those configuration settings and get that going. So I finished the build. Have done a few flights with her. I think I probably I flew maybe 8 packs or so. Had a couple nasty crashes. Even managed to drop it in a puddle, which was no fun. That was on the first day. I went out flying. There was 2 puddles in the field we were flying, and I managed to drop this right in one of them. Hit a tree, and then dropped it right in the puddle. Yeah, I even saw the mud splash up in the camera. It was awesome. She didn't want to fly after that. Actually, all the motors and everything spun up. It armed and everything, but the FPV was not working. But I brought it home, let it dry out, plugged it back up that night, and everything worked great. Took it out again the next day, flying a bunch more, some fairly aggressive flying, and managed to hit a tree trunk head on, right on the camera on this front corner, and it broke the plastic case on the camera, but fortunately I have spare cases, so that's an easy fix. But the camera still works, and didn't damage anything other than one of these dowel props. Man, they say they're indestructible, and I believe it. I never really flew them much until recently, but I got these tri-blades 5045 bullnose, and this one right here, you can still see the crease in it. I put it in the light just right, and it was bent totally crooked, and I just I just bent it straight and took off and kept going. It was great. But so far, again, I'm still super happy with this frame. I mean, $28, you just can't beat that. There's some improvements that can be made, but overall, for the price paid, this is a steal. In fact, I ordered some more dowel props, some more tri-blades, some red ones, in fact, this time. So I also went ahead and printed up a full set of 3D parts for it. I made some new feet. The feet that I'm currently using are ones that I had made for the QAV210, so they have the shape of the QAV arms. I don't know if you can see that, but since these are round, I made some round ones like that. They're about 1 millimeter larger in radius than the arms, so they'll stick out a little bit, provide a little protection for the arms. I already had this, you can see the green VTX mount on there, so I made another one of those, but this one's red. And I made another piece, so you can see right now, it's kind of ghetto. I have The battery lead is zip tied to the FPV antenna, and I didn't really like that, but it was just temporary. So I made another piece here to go under that VTX mount, and that will hold my battery lead. Made a new camera mount in red, and it's also I don't know if you can tell, but this one, you can sort of see that little gap right there. I think this one is 34 millimeters tall, because maybe that's what the ZMR standoffs, I mean the tweaker standoffs were. I don't remember, but so I tweaked the design and made it 35 millimeters to match the standoffs on this. And I also made a little bumper to go right on the chin right here, and that'll slide on there and snap around the base of these standoffs. So yeah, I'm gonna throw those on real quick and we'll see how she looks. Alright, so I put on all my 3D printed parts. Looking really good. I actually, like I said, I ordered some red dial tri-blades, 5-inch, but they're not supposed to come until tomorrow. And I wanted to throw something on here just to see how it would look. And the only red props I have laying around are these 4-inch tri-blades, so I'm aware. Okay. I just want to see how it looked. But anyway, so yeah, it looks great. So got the red camera mount up front and the VTX mount and this battery lead holder in the back. Keep things in place. No more ghetto zip tied to the FPV antenna. We got feet on the bottom. And again, it's all super durable TPU. The feet on the bottom are slightly bigger than the arms, so if you hit stuff, you're gonna hit those feet and not the arms. This camera mount is fully adjustable. I'd say it can go up to probably 45, maybe 50 degrees. Of course, it's on down. You can point the damn thing down if you want to. If you're that slow or you like to fly backwards. Yeah, my mount here, it fits the FX799T VTX and has antenna holders on the side, which work great with the Impulse RC Alien antenna tubes. That's what these are from. But really what I need to get is some of the Forever tubes from Great 3D. I'll have to get Kenny to send me some of those soon here so I can try them out. I've heard good things. But yeah, so I think it looks awesome. I'm pretty pumped with how this whole thing turned out. Between the new flight controller, new receiver, the PDB slash OSD that I've never used before. They all worked great. The motors and ESCs I've used on a previous build, so I already knew. I was a big fan of those. The Cobra 2206 2100 kV motors, they're great, along with some 20 amp little Bs. The frame, it's awesome. It has some room for improvement, like I said, but it's a $30 frame, so I can't really complain. It could use an extra set of standoffs to have 6 instead of 8. Other than that, maybe it'd be nice to see maybe a thicker top plate, but this is kind of par for the course. This is 1.5 or 2 mils or something, which is pretty normal. What else? Gosh, I don't know. I just really like it. All my 3D parts are interchangeable with my tweaker, which is awesome. made that really easy. It flies great. It's been really durable. Like I said, I smashed it into a tree and a bunch of other crashes. Dropped it in the middle of a baseball diamond from probably, I don't know, 50 feet up or something, and it's held up awesome. So like I'm super stoked, and I'll probably buy a couple more. 30 bucks. There's just nothing to complain about there. So again, this is the Kensun KK210 from BuddyRC.com. If you're interested, go check it out. Buy one, try it out. They're great. So anyway, if you like the video, click the subscribe button. I try to put out content semi-regularly, mostly a bunch of flight videos, but occasionally I do these build and review videos. Got another one coming up right after this, so yeah, subscribe, stay tuned.
Face down in the mud. Let's see. Let's survey. Look at those dowel props. Jesus.